thank God no one watched the last video. If it isn't doomy, nobody cares. I do feel a little responsible to cover this because they made new expansions for Heretic and Hexen. Because of course they did. It's Nightdive, and it's two easily modded id Tech games. Heretic and Hexen released together because Hexen was kind of a sequel to Heretic, you know, Hexen Beyond Heretic, in the way that if you go beyond a pretty face, eventually you end up in an asshole. So consider this video coverage of all the Heretic and Hexen expansions not yet covered on this channel, because I played the hell out of this thing. We got Faith Renewed for Heretic, Vestiges of Grandeur for Hexen, and you know what? I'm throwing in Death Kings of the Dark Citadel, the one I didn't do for the original Hexen video, because fuck Hexen. So periodically while I'm going through these, I'll be updating you on my progress through Death Kings, the extremely important expansion for Hexen from 1996, which I played on the hardest skill because that's how we did Hexen. This time though, I'm going in with the fighter because I enjoy not having a ranged weapon while dealing with extra fast and deadly chaos serpents. Oh yeah, give it to me. So, about Heretic, what I didn't realize is that Nightdive, for reasons I'm trying really hard to understand, updated the gameplay. Sorta like they'd done a little bit with Quake 2, except way fucking more. Enhanced levels, enhanced items, enhanced weapons, and enhanced enemies. Oh, and of course, the soundtrack has been completely redone for both games by Andrew Hulshult, who I imagine Bethesda has locked in a basement somewhere for whenever they need a MIDI soundtrack modernized. It's fine, it's very synthy compared to the Doom stuff, but Heretic and Hexen had very different music from Doom in that it wasn't all metal covers. There's something to be said for game preservation, and if you want to play Heretic, turn all of this shit off. It's on by default. You have to press tab in the difficulty selection screen to turn it off. To give you an idea of how this messed with me, I didn't know they were rebalancing the whole game. Here I was, striding into Faith Renewed like I own the place, playing on Black Plague, and stuff just felt off. I played the expansion first, not knowing that they'd done anything with the original levels. I mean, I've played those. What could have changed? For one thing, the bow is slower. That hit me. And there are more projectiles. It's more powerful depending on the enemy because some enemies have had their health changed. The first thing I noticed was that the ammo count had been cut to 30 instead of 50, and the bow pickups were now 3 instead of 5. That last part I didn't notice until I was playing the regular campaign because Black Plague gives you roughly 50% more ammo. So I was getting 4. That's a weird thing to not change when enemies don't respawn and aren't any tougher to deal with, and there aren't more of them on the highest skill compared to Smitemeister. When I dropped myself into episode 2, I noticed real fast because of the fucking were-dragons. Supposedly, RNG damage was a lot less predictable in the original game, so if a were-dragon hit you, how much damage it did was highly randomized. But now it fucking destroys you. It's still somewhat random, but the first hit took nearly half my health. So you get 3 arrows per pickup, and it takes on average 3 to 4 direct hits on a were-dragon. Sometimes 2 if you're very lucky, compared to the original game where it took between 3 and 5 and you reliably had ammo. Ophidians going down in 2 hits was alien to me. Is this my fault for not complaining about the monk health being nerfed in Rot Ludicrous Edition? For not saying maybe having a Berserker in Quake 2 Leap now is unnecessary? You have a lot less ammo to work with, forcing you to sometimes have to use the wand, or worse, the gauntlets, which are... The pull's a little ridiculous now, right? The wand shoots faster, the damage has been upped on a bunch of attacks, and enemies in general go down easier. All of this remastered gameplay doesn't really feel like Heretic. It feels like a Heretic gameplay mod that somebody made that makes the gameplay a little less sloggy and more like Doom. Like a fan creation to fix the problems the game has. Because it is. Most of these changes are from a mod called the Wayfarer's Tome by this fellow here, not Jabba, who also contributed the secret levels to the new episodes for Heretic and Hexen. We'll get to those. Hey, listen, I'm fine with you guys making your enhanced version. But maybe don't make it the default when booting up the game, and definitely don't hide the original game that you're remastering over here where I have to look for it. Why should I have to look for the fucking game? The level enhancements range from subtle things that I really like to distracting modern Doom mod stuff. Like Episode 1, barely touched when it comes to redetailing everything. There's a lot of new textures that fit in well and make the visuals pop, which is good, because the original game had about 24 textures in it that got reused a lot. Then there's stuff in Episode 2 that looks so different from the original game that I don't really see the point. The Ice Grotto changes the Iron Lich fight at the end from a big room with lights to a completely pitch black room, and I don't really see why. They added in an entire area at the exit for no real reason. The new levels also up the monster count in a game that had a pretty high monster count to begin with. So in an effort to make the game less of a slog, they made the weapons hit harder, but also added a bunch more monsters in the enhanced levels so that you'll still be spending that extra time fighting monsters. Certain levels, like E5M3, Key, look like they've been redesigned from the ground up. I don't know why this was done other than to maybe make it look a little closer to Hexen's more detailed levels. Or they just wanted to do it for shits and giggles. But when you start completely changing the combat encounters, I don't know, it just feels off-key.
Actionable pun detected.
And you stole it from Carmageddon.
Yeah. And if you go into E4M1, that fossilized fucking troll job with a Molitor placed inconveniently in the third room of the map, well, they moved it so that it'll teleport over here and you can telefrag it. That's more convenient and a change I don't mind because that sucked. That was really unpleasant. I promise you, people are not buying remasters of games to play new versions of them that aren't the original, so having this stuff be on by default, no, stop it. I'm not saying all the enhanced stuff is bad. Having Heretic's Fire Mace be more useful is welcome. Giving the Cleric and Hexen a shield that can stun enemies into a state where you can one-hit them with the mace is great, and actually significantly improves the flow of combat in that game because fuck centaurs. Being able to visit the hub level and change classes on the fly? Kinda cool. As far as I can tell, Hexen didn't get hit with the modern Doom level ray that they used on a bunch of the Heretic levels. They did add full-motion cutscenes that they remade based on the ones that I didn't know existed, which shipped with the PlayStation version of Hexen.
And he shall journey into the realms of the dead, and contest with the forces therein, unto the very gates of despair. But whether he shall return again to the world of light, no man knows. Damn. 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 Damn.
Damn.
Death Kings didn't seem to be changed at all, but I've only played through that once before in my life because, you know, Hexen. So let's check in on my playthrough of Death Kings and see where we're at. Absolutely riveting, although I'd really like to call out the designer who came up with doing platforming and having shitty ice physics in a level that's constantly shaking. Yeah, fuck you. So Nightdive, as they do, made this new episode for Heretic, which is made almost entirely by Kaiser, with the secret level made by not Jabba, who isn't fooling anyone. Kaiser, who's chained in the basement next to Andrew Hulshult, does good work, so these levels are overall pretty good. And like in the Doom remaster with Legacy of Rust, they polished off some beta sprites and turned them into new monsters. The fairly ineffectual old mummy? Okay, then we've got the Chaos Serpent, sure, why not? And most importantly, the Troll, who is a motherfucker. He's fast, like he uses the Molitor's charge attack and has the most health of any non-boss monster, so aggressive that after he kills me, he goes after another troll at light speed. What shocked me the most was how useful the Fire Mace is against him in this version, with the enhanced weapons where they buff the damage. Which I don't mind, the Fire Mace was a joke. See, his pain chance is so low that hitting him with a flurry of balls actually helps. So the first level of this expansion is kinda reminiscent to the first level of Heretic proper. It's not quite laid out the same, but with the long hallways, the similar texturing, though it's not quite as open as your average Heretic level. Next up is a cute town level called Staith Town, which is very episode 1 of Heretic, just more claustrophobic and with more monsters and is absolute chaos on Black Plague, but you know what? I'm used to it. It doesn't even bother me anymore. And again, because I was playing on Black Plague, I was getting slightly more ammo with each pickup, so the drought I would face while trying to play, say, any of the regular Heretic levels isn't quite as prominent. Okay, if I have to use the staff, it's just humiliating. It's not Heretic 2's staff. Oh, come on! I wouldn't say it's harder than the Shadow of the Serpent Riders episodes. It gets brutal later, but for right now, if you've played Heretic before, this shouldn't be much of a challenge. Tomes of Power are pretty common. As chaotic as it is, this level is one of my favorites of the episode. It's got a weird Heretic cute feel to it, with primitive locations in this little town. Things really start ramping up in the next level, Crimson Palace, which lives up to its name by being extraordinarily red with textures that are mostly new. The monster count goes up, again, with nearly 200 in this one. More Iron Liches, though their health seems to have been significantly nerfed. Like 3 Phoenix Rod hits instead of 4. Honestly, it feels a little weak now. Oh, and Chaos Serpents toss 3 fireballs at you now instead of 1. Sure, why not? The next level introduces the troll in a way that will surprise you. You're just going along looking for a way out of the first room, and then this guy's up your ass like he's looking for polyps. And then nothing else really stands out. Level is fine, like there's one little pit trap that's kind of a pain. Okay, we finished this level, Watergate, a word we're just using again for its normal connotation, I see. Next is Correctional Temple, and I sure do feel like I'm getting corrected. Alright, I think it's time to check in on Death King, see how things are going there. Well, we've gotten to the second hub, and we're caught in a crowd of Ettins that aren't really doing very much. I'll have more information as this story develops. This level has the first room in the episode that'll filter anyone with better things to do than play Heretic. Red Axe is coming at you from across the room, but oh no, I'm about to walk right into an Iron Lich tornado. Beautiful. You don't even have to wait to get the green key for another monster closet to open, but when you do... Oh, is that the blue key? I'm just gonna burn everything. Coincidentally, next up is Foundry. This one doesn't get too spicy until about halfway through when you walk through the green key door and... Welcome to the first room I needed a ring of invincibility for, because every switch in it opens a monster closet. But hey, one of those closets doesn't have a troll in it. Eye of Despairel is next, the penultimate level, and again, being placed like that in the episode means it's going to be the most difficult. I still really like it. The visuals, the layout, the encounters, all shine better than the rest of the episode in my opinion. I'd complain about getting mobbed by 2 Molotors at once, but after episode 5 throws 8 of them at you, it seems quaint. After that, the game lets up for a while. There's only one more Molitor in your way before you hit the last level, the Grand Chapel, where... It's just Despairel again, and I've saved up so many rings of invincibility and tomes of power that I kinda just cruise through it. And there we go, your faith renewed after slaughtering thousands more minions of Despairel. Cool episode, Nightdive. Oh wait, I forgot, I was gonna add a spoiler section for... Pocket Plane is a Heretic slaughter map, and the first time I really questioned playing this on Black Plague. It opens by tossing 3 Molotovs at you, but I didn't fight them in that arena because that shit wasn't happening. So I run to the teleporter that they can follow me through, and it brings me to this enormous lava-drenched, explosive-filled void nightmare. It's very pretty to look at, but once you fire a shot and wake up the monsters, the modern Doomwad Ray was set to kill on this one, kids. Like, you get a cool new super weapon, which is like a wand that does chain lightning. That's nice. Still, look at all the projectiles coming at me. Now, my strategy was to get to the teleporters on each end of the arena so that when everything would throw a projectile, they'd all fly towards me and then I'd teleport away. Rinse and repeat. Because there's like 300 monsters here and they're all trying to kill you at the same time. Thank fuck Heretic doesn't have hit scan enemies. After that, you're taken into a much smaller room that spawns mummies consistently, 6 at a time, and 2 Molotovs, and it's rough. If they were going to make something harder than any of the previous levels in like episode 4 or 5, they succeeded. I'm not sure the lightning wand is worth it. Good episode overall, although fighting the same boss again, Disparal, I feel like we could probably make a new boss for one of these things. Done with Heretic, though. But before we go, let's check in once more on Death Kings of the Dark Citadel. We've reached the sewer. And we're currently blindly swinging the axe to take care of the obnoxious stalkers that live in even the smallest body of water in the game. It's exciting stuff, I'm being told. Right, I played the original campaign as the mage, and I played Death Kings as the fighter, so I decided to go through this one as the cleric. That decision was entirely based on the new enhanced combat, where the cleric gets a shield, and so you can parry, stun, and then one-hit enemies like Ettins and Centaurs. Especially the fucking Centaurs, who belong on the cutting room floor, but then Hexen would have only like 5 enemy types. There's no new monsters in this expansion, so get used to those 5. You'll see lots and lots of them. It's Hexen, so in each level there are spawners that'll periodically dump more of them into the level. It gets monotonous. That's a Hexen thing, not so much a Vestiges of Grandeur thing. The shield, parrying, and deflecting projectiles makes the combat a lot less of a slog. More than anything done to Heretic. Like, it's still a pain in the ass until you get a ranged weapon and you're relying on fletchets until then. They give you weapon 2 and 3 in the first level. For the cleric, that's the Serpent Staff and Firestorm, and I am deeply grateful for that. And this level isn't even the meat of the new campaign, like it's a prologue, and once I finished it, it dumped me out into the main hub area, and I noticed another change, a welcome one, which is having a little stand that lets you change classes whenever you feel like it. I didn't use it very much, but it's appreciated. Now, Vestiges of Grandeur may sell itself as an expansion pack, and it doesn't sound like a lot when you hear that there are only 9 maps in it, and 2 of them are secrets. We'll get to that secret level. So only 9 maps, the main chunk of the campaign taking place on 6 of them. Still took me 6 hours to beat the whole thing, which is about as much time as it takes me to beat Hexen's main campaign. Not only are these levels huge, they have just about every item, key, and artifact that the main Hexen campaign has, and you have to use them all. Sometimes more than once. Looking at you collecting 3 Yorick skulls to fight the fucking Heresiarch for the 3rd time. Now, generally, to access the final level, you need to collect 4 Hearts of Disparal, these gems right here. Less broadly, you need lots of gears, skulls, holy relics, books, every single thing from Hexen, I think with the exception of the planet gems. And finding that stuff isn't actually that hard because everything is either shown on the map or you're pointed in the right direction by these X's. So each map offers a variation on a theme already explored in Hexen. Swamp of the Forgotten is my least favorite because it spawns stalkers like they're not one of the most annoying enemies I've ever encountered. Maybe don't do that, maybe instead, eat a family-sized bag of dicks. Glade of the Fallen is a very big, open, Hexen-like map with plenty to do. Fight the Heresiarch, again. Fight the fighter, Again, it's fine, I guess. Volcano Chapel, though, easily the coolest Hexen level I've ever played. First of all, impressive visuals. Second, the dynamic scripting and how the level changes as you progress. The chapel fills with lava and, unfortunately, has another Heresiarch fight. Don't tell me I'm pronouncing that wrong.
The Heresiarch.
Third, unlike other levels, especially in earlier campaigns, the rooms aren't so stuffed full of monsters that you're too busy holding down the fire button to notice how cool this dungeon is. It's not over-detailed or overstuffed with monsters. And Frozen Sanctum is fine. It generously doesn't use the terrible ice physics too much. This campaign is the most fun I've ever had playing Hexen. It's been designed with 30 years of hindsight, sure, but remember, I hate Hexen. Fuck Hexen. But I'm not having a bad time. Like, it still gets sloggy in the swamps and the glade because it's not Hexen if there isn't a script running to repopulate the areas with Ettins. We've still only got one. There's a bit of magic to this, kids. Let me set the scene for you. I'm in the main hub. I'm 90 minutes into this playthrough, breaking some stained glass because nearly all of it is hiding something. Out in this yard, I see a row of trees concealing the path. As the cleric, I'm the best at starting forest fires. It leads me to a secret portal that transports me to a stunningly atmospheric area. Leaves gently fall from the trees, trails twist toward another blocked entrance, and when I've broken through, a group of bats flutter out. At the end of this passage, a clearing in the forest, a shrine, the Garden of Medea, where a kind soul smiles down upon you. And gives you 12 dark servants? I'm not sure if this is the Greek mythological figure. This stone carving here is like, I don't know what's going on with the face. This isn't a result of the modern Doomwad Ray. It's not that much more detailed than a Hexen map normally would be, with the exception of the tons of holes in the forest cover. Most of the detail in atmosphere comes from the lighting and the placement of world objects. It's just this small, tiny bonus area with deliberate pacing that makes you feel good for finding it. It lets itself breathe instead of spawning 10,000 fucking centaurs and succumbing to Hexen's worst impulses. I was able to go in and appreciate what I was experiencing without the overwrought... Oh, for God's sake, I'm trying to have a moment! Once you've gathered nearly every artifact the game has, and a few new ones, it's off to fight Korax. Again. And I have so many icons of the Defender and Craters of Might saved up that it's not a big deal. There, he's dead again. Simple. Oh, hold on, I'm getting an update from Death Kings. We're in the third and final hub now, and they've made some kind of incredibly irritating water teleport situation in this room. A bold move for the level design team. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting word now that it is not a bold move, and I only heard half of someone saying bowel movement. So you'd be surprised to learn that almost none of the puzzles require you to hit 8 switches scattered around the world. Only one puzzle requires this, which is what gives you access to the secret level. There's a switch hidden in each one of the 4 levels branching from the main hub, and the secret level is called Elemental Temple, and it is an absolutely enormous map that borders on being a slaughter map. It's as long as a regular hub in Hexen. It was hit by the modern Doomwad Ray at the curse your entire bloodline setting. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this absolute unit. There's hundreds of enemies in waves, 2 wyverns, 3 enormous sections you have to clear so you can get a pair of wings that will let you fly through the air section to exit, and of course another goddamn Heresiarch. Enough, it has never been fun to fight. stop-and-go bullshit, and also the single most irritating platforming section ever put into a video game. Okay, maybe not, but you try doing this. You're supposed to get up here and grab a mask that'll open a super secret with goodies in it, but you have to do it by jumping between single tiny little glitter platforms, which is bad enough. The platforms that aren't glitter? Oh, they have a wind effect on them. Yeah, so I didn't fucking attempt to get that mask there. Didn't even know it was all the way at the top of this until I got the wings and flew up there. The entire point of this level is to get the wings, because then there are secrets on the other levels that you can access now. And that tickles me right in my Metroids. If you're gonna do a secret level, you might as well do one that goes all out. It's a challenge level, and it certainly lives up to that. Still not as hard as the one they put into the Heretic expansion, but I chalk that up to being a cleric and having the Wraith Verge. I'll talk shit about Hexen all day, but the Wraith Verge is so good. Well, wait, I'm being told that we've almost finished Death Kings, and the final map is 9 waves of enemies occasionally interrupted by having to quickly fight Korax's lieutenants again, who are the final bosses of Death Kings of the Dark Citadel. I'd complain, but at least it's not the goddamn Heresiarch, so we've done it. We've played through this oft-requested... Wait, no, people don't request this one. They keep talking about Resurrection of Evil for Doom 3. Oh well.